Why street smart skills beat book smart in the real world. I graduated top of my class and still got played like a rookie in my first job. That was the day I learned a brutal truth. Being book smart is only impressive in rooms where everyone agrees to follow the rules. But in real life, people break rules. They bend them, they fake them, and if all you've got is textbook logic, you're already 2 moves behind. I watched people with less knowledge win more. Not because they were smarter, but because they were sharper. They knew what to say, when to say nothing, and when to walk away. They could read the tension before words even came out. And I was still trying to craft the perfect sentence, thinking it would earn me respect. It didn't. Street smart skills are built in friction. You learn by being burned, by watching patterns, by catching what isn't said. Human nature psychology teaches you that logic doesn't drive most decisions, emotions do. Ego does. Fear does. And if you don't see that, you'll be the one following the rules in a room where no one else is playing fair. I used to think knowing more would save me. So I read everything, learned frameworks, took notes. But knowledge without instinct is like a map without terrain. Looks good, sounds smart, but useless when the ground shakes. That's when street smart kicks in. You start to see beneath. Who's nervous? Who's posturing? Who needs to win the room to feel okay? And you learn to move around it, not through it. Muta 1 hit me hard with this. Survival mindset isn't about fighting harder, it's about seeing clearer. Because you can't win a game you don't understand. And most games aren't about who's right. They're about who's aligned with the unspoken rules. Who can read people, shift tone, adjust pace, not to manipulate, but to survive, even thrive. The most successful people I know aren't the most qualified. They're the most aware. They know how to read people. They know when someone's bluffing. They catch the micro expressions, the change in pitch, the sudden silence. And while everyone else is reacting, they're calculating. Calm doesn't mean passive. It means strategic. That's what school never teaches you. They teach you how to answer, not how to observe. They teach compliance, not adaptation. But out here, game theory in real life matters more than any perfect answer. You need to know what moves people, what scares them, what they protect. That's where influence begins. I used to enter rooms trying to sound smart. Now I enter to sense the flow. Where's the tension? Who's leading the room emotionally? Who's trying to hide insecurity with authority? It's all power dynamics. And if you can't see it, you'll accidentally challenge the wrong ego, threaten the wrong alliance, and wonder why you're being iced out without explanation. Emotional intelligence is more than empathy. It's discernment, knowing when someone's compliment is actually a warning, when silence is a power move, when a joke is a test. That's the layer beneath the conversation most people miss. And that's where the real moves are made. Social hierarchy explained? It's not titles. It's energy, presence, who gets interrupted and who doesn't, who people turn to when things get tense. Street smart people catch this fast. They don't waste time fighting for attention where attention isn't earned. They reposition. They build leverage. They adapt. I've seen book smart people get crushed in rooms where everything they said was technically right, but landed emotionally wrong. Because they didn't feel the room. They spoke to be correct, not to connect. And in real-world dynamics, connection beats correctness every time. That's the cost of being blind to the psychological manipulation most environments run on. Not because people are evil, but because they're scared, insecure, competing silently, acting out unconscious scripts. And if you don't see it, you'll take things personally that were never about you. You'll fight shadows. You'll burn out. Street smart isn't slick talk or street slang. It's clarity. It's knowing when someone's acting out a wound, not a strategy. It's choosing not to engage where the game is rigged. It's protecting your energy while everyone else is leaking theirs trying to prove they matter. And ironically, once you stop trying to prove yourself, you start winning more. Because you're not distracted. You're precise. You don't jump at every invitation to explain, defend, or impress. You pause. You watch. You ask the quiet question that shifts the room. That's presence. That's skill. And you learn to listen with your whole body. Not just ears. Your gut picks up on tension. Your skin feels when the vibe shifts. Street smart people don't override that with logic. They trust it. They've been burned enough to know what a fake smile means. What a long pause signals. They don't wait to be told. They adjust. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming awake. You don't need to outsmart everyone. Just outsense the chaos. And that doesn't come from books. It comes from real tension, real mistakes, real observation. And once you develop that edge, you stop getting played. You see the manipulation tactics before they land. You stop falling for innocent questions that are really tests. You stop reacting to bait. You conserve energy. You move with clarity. Because clarity is rare. And power loves clarity. And once people sense that clarity in you, they adjust, sometimes without even knowing why. They speak differently. They hesitate before trying you. Because something about you doesn't flinch. And that unsettles them, not in a loud way. In a quiet, immovable way. That's when you realize, power doesn't always look like dominance. Sometimes, it's just not needing to prove anything. The most street-smart person I ever met said almost nothing in meetings. But when they did, people listened. Not because of status, but because of weight. Their words didn't come from a need to be liked. They came from observation, from sitting in silence long enough to see what others missed. And in that silence, they mapped the room. Not with notes, with instinct. That's a survival skill most don't realize they need. Because they're still waiting for fairness. For validation. For the day effort alone will be enough. But effort, without direction, is noise. And street-smart people don't chase noise. They move with intention. They know when to hold back. When to strike. When to vanish. That's the art. And this shows up everywhere. Not just in work. In family. Relationships. Friendships. You think someone's being difficult, until you realize they're testing control. You think someone's supportive, until they subtly sabotage you to keep the upper hand. If you don't see the game, you get played by it. Street-smart skills give you options. You can choose how you show up. When to engage. When to let the silence speak for you. That's what book smart rarely prepares you for. The messiness of real life. Where rules bend, people wear masks, and logic folds under emotional weight. Muta 1 helped me spot that emotional weight faster. Helped me understand that most manipulation isn't conscious, it's habitual. People learn to survive by getting their way indirectly. By smiling while they stab. By praising while they control. And if you only read surface, you'll miss the storm under the calm. But once you've seen the storm once, truly seen it, you never unsee it. And from there, you either start playing your own game, or you keep playing theirs and wondering why you're exhausted. The choice sounds obvious, but it's hard. Because the street-smart path means letting go of the identity that says, if I just do it right, I'll be okay. It means stepping into something riskier, discernment over performance. It means being okay with not being understood by everyone. With being underestimated. With being quiet in loud rooms. Because your power isn't invisibility, it's in your vision. And most won't get that. Until they need you. Until the room gets chaotic and you're still calm. Until the surface cracks and you're still standing. That's when they come to you, not because you asked for it, but because they felt it. And that's the kind of influence no resume can teach. It's not about how much you know, it's about how deep you see. How fast you adapt, how little you need to prove. Street smart isn't about charm. It's about calibration, reading the temperature of a room, knowing when the game shifts, and adjusting before others even realize they're still playing by old rules. And once you live like that long enough, it's hard to go back. To pretending, to over-explaining, to asking for permission, because now, you know. You know how to win in life, not through force, but through finesse. Not through volume, but through vibe. And maybe that's what this is really about. Not proving that street smart is better, but showing that it's essential. If you want to navigate unspoken social rules, emotional terrain, power games that no one admits exist, you need it. Not to manipulate, to stay awake, because every room has a current. Every conversation has subtext. Every person has a wound they're hiding, a game they're playing, a version of themselves they're trying to protect. And if you don't see it, you'll judge the mask and miss the mechanism underneath. But if you do see it, you don't just survive the system. You move above it.